Hmm. 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 Was Knight killed here? Knight could have been killed here. So this is the famous yard. Circus performance was taking place here just before the body was discovered. Check it out, it's like the backdrop to some epic festival. Most of the prisoners were assembled here when the body was discovered. Which means that anyone who saw the show has an alibi. Alright, time to take a look around. Okay. I'm just gonna let this stay here. She's learning her lesson.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Stop hitting me. Help, Mr. Edwards. Cease and desist, you beast. Why is Kay still just standing there? Stay, Aza. Stay. Who's that? Oh, it's her. Okay, yeah, she's not the culprit. Stay, Aza, stay. Oh, you found a new friend to play with. Oh, good for you, girl. I can't do like a little prissy voice because that's the voice she really deserves. Play with? Your elephant nearly ate me. No way. She'd never do a thing like that. Aza doesn't even bite, at least not very often. So she does have a taste for human flesh. So how do you like meeting a real-life elephant up close? Are you glad you did? Yeah, glad I didn't die. But you did have fun, right? Right? There, sweetie. Don't cry. You had a wonderful time, didn't you, Kay? Don't mislead the poor girl, Fender. Oh, she did? Oh, I'm so happy. Here, let me make it up to you. How about a hug? Keep your trunk to yourself. See, Fender, yeah, nice try. The elephant was like, not today, old man. Aw, another new friend. Isn't it just the best day ever? Probably don't have a profile on her yet, do we? I am Associate Defense Attorney Miles Edgeworth. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Regina. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Kay Faraday, Great Thief Extraordinaire. This self-introduced brought to you by the word convoluted. Your elephant found his new friend is Mr. Fender, the defense attorney. Oh, that's not just any elephant, that's Aza, the Asian elephant. Aza stopped the second you told her to. You only have a way with animals, Regina. Well, I wouldn't be much of an animal tamer if I didn't. What? So you're Simon's boss? That's right. Regina Berry, head of the animal taming department, showbiz division, very big circus. It's so lovely to meet you all. The pleasure's ours, mademoiselle. Name's Eddie Fender. I'm a bit of an ace attorney. So much for whipping me into shape. Yes, she's perfect. What are you muttering to yourself about, Kay? That positivity, that charisma, that energy. Regina, you make a perfect partner in crime for the great thief Yetta Garrison. Great thief? That sounds like fun. My animals and I have stolen the spotlight quite a bit in our time. That's the one thing we don't want to steal. We gotta keep it on a down low, all stealthy and ninja-like. But where's the fun without show? The down low sounds like it might get me down. Bummer. I think we got a fundamental difference of opinion going on here. It would indeed appear that the negotiations have broken down. Maybe next time, Kay. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, let's get cracking. We can't see much beyond what's the metal fence, though. Indeed. And we're in a sore need of information in addition to evidence. Therefore, we should make an effort to talk with any persons of interest as well. Hey! Who are you shouting at? Looks like they usually have goldfish in them, right? Want to see if they come say hello. I only see water striders. Water striders are cool. They can walk on water like ninjas. Whoosh, whoosh. Man, I wish I could do that. So much for the goldfish. Are we not going to talk about the fish skeleton at all? Like, what's that doing there? Door appears to be locked. Want me to open it? Can't guarantee anything, but I can certainly give it a try. No, if we deem it necessary, we'll simply ask for the key. Spoil sport. That could have been my chance to shine. You're free to shine somewhere else, but you'll not make an audience out of me. A wicker basket, or rather, a cart given the wheels. Oof, smells like animals. I suppose they must have been using it during the show to move things. Hey, wouldn't it be fun to hop in and race down a hill? Oh, you know what else would be fun? Racing down a hill in office chairs. That does not sound like it would go very well. Where did any of that come from? Danger, high voltages. Never saw one of these in real life. Hey, that must be the fabulous garden outside the warden's office. Oh yes, Warden Lagarde mentioned being able to see it from her window on the detention center side. Yeah, I wish this dumb barbed metal fence wasn't in the way. Though, I thought it was all one big yard. Given how protective the warden seemed of her little bit of earth, I imagined she'd keep it riff-raff out like us out. What are you doing here? Ah, Mr. Turdy, sir, how are you today, if you don't mind me asking? Today? Let's talk to you earlier, Mr. Sawit. Oh, heavens, I do apologize. Ever since I came to call this place home, I've been working on my interpersonal skills, you see. In order to be as annoying as possible. I'm currently helping out with the circus show's stage teardown and cleanup. But if you have any need of me, I'll do my utmost to help. I'm just chipping in and do what I can, model prisoner that I am. Yes, my stay in the prison has seen me reborn. The Frank saw what you see before you is a changed man. A changed man who now targets recently deceased. Got him there, Edgeworth. No, you misunderstand. That was a moment of madness. A moment of madness? Ugh, you're a disgrace to all thieves everywhere. You're right, of course. I can't deny it. I still have a long way to go. As a thief. Anyway, as you can see, I have a shiny new bracelet now. So it's like the straight and narrow for me. Like I say, I'm a model prisoner. Not that a real model prisoner would keep telling me that. Doing everything I can to prepare for my eventual return to society. Yeah, you even skipped the show to focus on your training, didn't you? That's right. Only two inmates were absent, Sawat and Connus. Why didn't you tell us about Mr. Connus sooner? Oh, that? Look, I don't think there's an inmate in this prison that would talk about him if they didn't have to. He's, well, you could say he's the real one in charge around here. You didn't hear it from me, but, well, I guess it comes with being the fixer. The fixer? Yes, anything you need, he can get it for you. But how does he get away with it? I'm not sure, but he's the only one who does. Or he has a secret way of getting things into the facility. I imagine being the fixer affords Kana certain privileges. Not that I concern myself with such things anymore, of course. Far more interested in perfecting my mud pact application technique. And what are these mud packs exactly? They're a special type of mud treatment rich with minerals. It works wonders on their coats. I've been practicing on animals here in the prison. I hope to treat them all eventually. Speaking of mud, that reminds me of a certain piece of evidence. Maybe I should try presenting it to him. Oh, the glove has mud on it. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Of course. That's the mud from the pet treatment I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened. I see. Around what time would that have been? Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 perhaps. The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more zone I got, and the darker the animal's fur became. There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when slathering an animal with thick black mud. I think the stress of prison might be getting to him. Of course, it's all thanks to the warden that we have such access to such wonderful distractions. I'm eternally grateful. Truly I am. So the body must have been propped up. Like he must have been in there a while or something. Because this pulley system kind of looks like it would have been set up to hoik his body in some way. A simple, sturdily built well. I wonder if it was the work of the prisoners. Somebody's left a bunch of tools lying around. This long piece of rope, pretty heavy looking weight. Let's see, weighs 30 pounds. Hey, and there's some pulleys too. Okay, can you stop touching everything in sight? Ah, come on. It's not like I was gonna take anything. What exactly were they being used for, I wonder? Must be the stage for the show. Do you think people will be interested in a great thieving show? Girl, take a chill pill. Chairs must have been there for the audience. Wow, I pity whoever had to put all of them away. Really? Why? Ha! You've been clear. Never had to fill up a bunch of boring chairs before, huh? Not personally. I've been told people do it, though. Come on, Mr. Edwards. You gotta roll up your sleeves and help once in a while. You're the head of the animal taming department. You must be Mr. Saint's boss. That's right. My daddy founded the very big circus. But he passed away. He was murdered. I'm sorry to hear that. But we have a new ringmaster now. He's made the circus bigger and better than ever. He's such a nice man. He was a good friend of my dad's, too. He's such a nice man. And he was a good friend of my dad's, too. Wow, that's great. Lucky you. I know, right? It's his idea to set up departments like animal taming, magic, ventriloquy. Only animal taming and ventriloquy have more than one person right now. Max is still flying solo, huh? But the very big circus is getting bigger and better day by day. Sounds like you guys are really going places. They're getting on well. I'll leave them to it. Can you tell me about the show? Oh, it's a wonderful thing. It even has a story. And it's not just any story. It's a love story. Isn't that dreamy? Sounds like a regular riot. So who's the star of the show? Let me guess. You? No, silly. It would be Aza. And she falls in love with none other than Regent, the tiger. An elephant falling in love with a tiger. Whoa, Nelly. I've never heard of odd couples, but take the biscuit. And that's not all. There's a love triangle, too. It's so romantic. That sounds pretty incredible, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? So the elephant is the heroine. But I suppose there's a first time for everything. And, who's the third wheel? Oh, that would be the big old meanie who tries to tear our star-crossed lovers apart. Ooh, what animal do you think it is, Mr. Edgeworth? It's gonna be the defendant. It's gonna be Simon, isn't it? Given that it's a circus, perhaps a lion? I think a raven would be cool. Like they got the Garrison. Nope. It's sneaky monkey. Oh, money. That's certainly lowered the stakes. Oh, you mean money, right? Nope again. The little monkey is food by Simon. Up. Money's far too small to play against Aza and Regent. Silly. Anyways, the evil villain tries to tear Aza and Regent apart. What? So it will become fated for the twosome? It's so exciting, isn't it? Sure. Wow, it sure is. So Mr. Saint was more than just a little helper he claims to be. Poor Simon, it'd be terrible if he couldn't perform with us anymore. Can you tell me about how you set up things for the performance? That's not really my area. Simon took care of all of the lifting and carrying. He's such a sweetie. He offered to do everything by telling me to concentrate on the show. I did see him doing something near the well, though. A well. I recall seeing one behind the stage. I should examine it in more detail. You've always seen him, moving those huge cages. All by himself, he's a total hero. Yeah, sounds like something he would do. Weeping all the while. He's going back and forth between the yard and here. And some of the workshop with all the equipment. The prison gave us special permission to use it for storage. But he wasn't the only one who went down there, so I don't know much more than that. The workshop must be the one where Knight's body was found. Guess this confirms that Mr. Saint was the only performer to have gone into Workshop A. Well, this sucks. We're getting all this information that works against us. You have to help Simon, Mr. Attorney. We're all counting on you. Just leave it to us. We may not look it, but Mr. Edwards knows how to get things done. And what exactly is he may not look it supposed to mean? There you are. There you are. Regina Cupcake. Oh, Morton Lagarde. I've been simply dying to sit you down for a chat, you exquisite little thing. Do you mind if I ask you about the prison? Oh, not at all. This place is my pride and joy, my home. Sure, it was a prison when I first arrived, and it was awful, utterly disgrace. Awful. I suppose that means the prisoners were unruly. I most certainly do not. They're angels, every one of them. They always have been. No, it was the ambience that was awful. I fretted, I brooded, and then it hit me. The animals, if anyone could brighten the place, it was them. It's nice having them around. Isn't it just? And now look at my fabulous little family. Why, my darling Frankie is the very picture of rehabilitation. Except when he's rifling through dead men's pockets. We have so many success stories among the family. But my darling Frankie, he really is a marvel. He threw himself into the vocational training and is always the first to volunteer for everything. What? And your other model prisoners don't do that? Of course they do, my dear, of course. They're such all-triers and such doers. It's just that Frankie, let's just say he knows what's good for him. What exactly does she mean by that? Anyway, he's a very good boy, so do try to be nice to him, won't you? Loud, soaring music, great leaping animals, the Berry Big Circus truly has it all. And everybody who comes here gets to see it once a month. Really? In that case, let me see. She better not be thinking of something to confess to. This monthly show, is it always performed by Berry Big Circus? But of course, sweetie. I'm Regina's biggest fan. The girl is my little princess, my superstar. She's so wonderfully talented. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And she's so adorable, so sweet, a could just gobble her right up? You're not lying when you say you're her biggest fan, huh? Which is why I'm worried about her. So worried. It's all because poor Simon, you see. If he's found guilty, why, darling Regina will be devastated. So you simply must make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. Lawyer. Please, I'm begging you. Is there anything I can do to help you clear up this awful misunderstanding? You let me know? Yeah, you're guilty. I still haven't figured out the how, though. The how is still a major question mark. Is there a chance, in some weird way, she could have hid Knight's body in her coat? Or she could have hidden it with, like, while Simon was away, going to try to talk to Rook. Or Knight. Why do I keep saying Rook? Knight. She put his body in the stuff that was being transported for it? Like, it feels like that makes the most sense. The stage, the stars, and you in particular, my princess, it was simply divine. Thank you so much. I hope everybody else who watched the show enjoyed it too. About that, dear, I'm afraid I have something awful to confess. There were some absences, you see. She must have been kind and solid. We were 3 members short. Unbelievable, I know. How will you forever forgive me? I'm sorry, but you're saying 3 inmates didn't attend the show? That's right, sweetie. I counted the seats myself. 1, 2, 3 no-shows. And I always make sure there are enough seats for everybody. But Mr. Edwards, that's not right, is it? Indeed. As far as we're aware, Mr. Connus and Mr. Salt were the only ones not present. This doesn't add up. Who was the third missing prisoner, and what were they doing? It seems we need to investigate further. Oh, I was joining chat with my dear Regina so much I almost forgot. I must feed the little ones. Little one? Yikes! Alligator? Oh boy. You're looking as adorable as always, Ali, my sweet. Aw, she's so pretty. And what a cute name. Oh, good grief. Yes, Ali the alligator. Isn't she a darling? She's my favorite. Aren't you? Yes, you are. I'm so jealous. Can I pet her? Of course, princess, of course. Boy, howdy. Those two are made for one another. They look like they'll be busy for a while. Maybe we should, go back inside the prison and check the cells. Yes, let's. Perhaps we can find a clue there as to who the third missing prisoner might be. Sir! Mr. Edwards, sir! Phew, finally caught up with you. Detective, you're not needed elsewhere. No, Judge and Kid aren't here yet. Oh, I got your message. So your third victim cell. Did you manage to turn up anything? You struck gold, sir. Well, blood anyway. It was right there on the floor. Only tiny specks, though. But it's at least something. Yeah, it proves the wholeness of was the scene as a crime, right? No. Not quite. It proves a possibility, but it's not conclusive yet. I thought you'd say that, sir. That's why I ordered the follow-up work. Ask for forensic to analyze the blood and see if it was matches the victims. They're on it as we speak. Nice work, Gummy. You thought of everything. Detective, I must say I'm impressed. You you hit your head or something. Please, don't look so surprised, sir. Let's hope things continue to go in our favor. Alrighty, well that's a proof that the murder happened in a detention center. And for our next trick, we'll find out how the dog got over there. Don't worry, we'll leave that one to me. Till the kid and his chaperone get here, we've got the whole prison to ourselves. Which is why I brought my secret weapon along. Secret weapons? That's right. New tools of the trade that have helped me bust a few more cases wide open. Behold, the 7 secret weapons of Dick Gumshoe, ace detective extraordinaire. Well, I don't know about you crazy cats, but I'm sold, Miles. Very well, detective. We'll try using your secret weapons. You got it, sir. Let me run you through the list. Secret number 1. Trust the old metal detective. We still see our scrap. This little guy right here will find it. So, text metal. Very good, detective. Missile! I got secret weapon number 2. Missile. Everyone's favorite crime-fighting canine. You can track pretty much anything you put in front of him, especially food. Sure is a lot cuter than Mr. Canis' dog. Now for secret number 3. Where'd I put it? Aha. Now, am I one snapper short of a school, or is that a fishing rod? No time we're going fishing for clues. No, I mean, just happen to have it with me, that's all. I see. Well, onward and upward, detective. Let's see what else you have. That's all she wrote, sir. Gummy, your 4 secret weapons are short of so-called 7. One of them was a fishing rod. That's all for today. I'll show you the rest next time. Why does it call them secret? Can't just go sharing everything all at once. That's crazy. In that case, I suppose the 3 you've deigned to reveal to us will have to do for now. Alright, which one do you want to try, sir? Just go in order. Is everything all right, detective? Oh, looks like I should have brought a spare battery. Ugh, that's not going to be much help. Sorry, sir. Looks like the metal detector will have to wait. Let's try something else. It's going to be the fishing rod for sure. Hey, missile. Yeah, boy. Aw, he really came. So what do we track? We're trying to find how Mr. Canis' dog got to the holding cell in the first place. I suspect the same route was used to bring Knight's body back to the prison. Then we gave the pooch a sniff of the body. And he'll find that proof for us. Anyone else smell something sweet? All I smell is the odor of blood. It's faint, sir. It's almost like cake, maybe. What would the body smell of cake? Okay, missile. Get a noseful. Here we go. Follow that dog. That's the way too. Set it for maximum security. Uh-oh, he's going in. We'll just have to follow after him. Canis is not there. This is Canis' cell. So the man himself is absent, it seems. he meeting with someone in the visitor's room? Do you think Mistle's onto something? Shh. Looks like maybe he is. There's something here. Let's get Snoopy, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Conus's chess set, complete with his special dog piece. That's not a chess set. It's a whole chess table with legs, like it might be worth something. It's not inconceivable. Some of them are, and this is quite a nice one. Oh, Eastern aesthetic? No, I thought it'd be more. Go, huh? Can you play? I can play Go Fish. Not the same thing, Kay. Not even close. It was a bit smaller than the other ones. I'm no woodworker, but perhaps it's an all-purpose one that can be used in a pinch, regardless of the job. It's an all-purpose pocket tool. Makes sense. Always nice when your tools are useful and easy to carry. That's your opinion as a thief. Nope. My opinion as a great thief. I walked into that one. He did get hit in the head. Mr. Conus's chisels. Every one is a potential murder weapon. That reminds me of something. Frozen your brow. When you frown, it looks like somebody took a chisel to your forehead. I have no idea what you mean. These are so deep. Don't tell me you don't see Mr. Wood carving face. Have you quite finished? Huh? What's the matter, boy? Wait, is this a cake you were after? Whoa, whoa, down, boy. Stop that. You can't have it. Dogs can't eat chocolate. You know that. I'll just eat it myself. Not bad. That's some real outside the chocolate box thinking there. Not sure everyone agrees, though. Gummy, I wanted some. Daring of both of you to assume the food in a prison is safe to eat. Well, daring or dumb. So, anyway, it looks like it really was cake Missile was tracking. Talk about a waste of time. I suppose we got our just desserts. This little guy here is definitely capable, right? Sure he is. It's just a blip. Follow the right sin this time, I promise. Seek, boy. What was the significance of that moment? That had to mean something. Whatever it is, it's in there. Mr. Carcerado's cell. We need to take a look inside. Detective Coldecard. Yes, sir. Thank you, officer. A question before we begin. Is the prisoner, Mr. Cardo, still in solitary? No, sir. Came back a little while ago. And was here for a noon room call. Sir. Guess he must be on a work duty someplace. I see. Now if you'd be so kind as to open his cell. Yes, sir. This punching bag has a... Oh. Something about the punching bag? No way. No way indeed. Quickly, detective. Move the sandbag aside. Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Oh, could this be? Whoa there. Wait, missile. I'm going in too. Wait, stop. Sir, I'll go get it. Oh, that's tight. Should have eaten that cake. Just go on. Well, I'm not going in there. We'll just have to wait. Hello, Kay. Are you all right? You're not gonna believe this, but we're in the detention center. The detention center. That hole. It's a tunnel that leads right into Mr. Knight's cell. Oh. What? Don't go anywhere. I'm on my way. So it's Mr. Carcerado then. That's what this seems to be implying. Or he knows exactly who done it. Okay. Hey there, Mr. Edgeworth. Guess you could say we made a breakthrough. Quite. At least he came out unscathed, I think. So the floorboards under the bed were torn up. So that's how they did it. There's no doubt about it. This must have been the route we've been looking for. There's no doubt about it. This must have been the route we were looking for. The corridor connecting the detention center and the prison is locked by heavy security doors. But with the help of this tunnel, it can be circumvented. It was a sweet scent that started this whole search. Could it be? The scent was in fact coming from Knight's body after all. Incidentally, Knight's body was covered in dirt. Dirt that might have come from being dragged through the tunnel. Okay, what was it like down there? It's pitch black, so we couldn't see a whole lot. Luckily, my camera has a flash, so I took some pictures. Let's see what you've captured. Is the knife going to be in there? Look at that. Spoons, fork. Guess they were used for digging the tunnel. That aside, are those footprints? Paw prints even. From a dog, perhaps? This is a vital piece of evidence. However, it begs something of a question. It does? Mr. Carceraro has certainly been making use of this tunnel, which means... Detective, we need to find out where Mr. Carceraro is immediately. My suspicions are correct. Huh? Aw, nuts! Guards were alerted and began searching for Mr. Carcerado right away. But after a thorough investigation of both the prison and detention center, he was nowhere to be found. Well, have the police been notified? Yes, ma'am. Just finished lazying with them a moment ago. They've been set up cordon all around the entire facility. Good. The first blemish on a prison's spotless reputation is always the ugliest. What happened again, ma'am? Rather different warden look guard to be the one we've seen so far. Mr. Edgeworth, was it? I really can't thank you enough for finding the tunnel, darling. Sadly, it may have been a little too late. It seems he might have already left the building. I say that's unlikely, Warden. After all, there's a security gate at the exit to the detention center. You're not suggesting he simply walked through it. What's to say there was only one tunnel, sweetie? I suppose that's true. Well, whatever the case, there's no time to be standing around chit-chatting. Mr. Edwards, would you mind continuing your investigation? It would be my pleasure. And you there, and you three, get back to your post. Yes, ma'am. Detective, the results from the blood test just came back from the lab. Thanks, pal. Let's see what they have to tell us about the blood found in Knight's cell. What does it say? What does it say, Mr. Edgeworth? They identified the blood, and it's Knight's. So is Knight's blood in there? Nice job, everyone. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh? We got Knight's blood in the holding cell. A tunnel a dog clearly went through. And security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog on his cell. Case closed. We have all the evidence we need. Let's see what Mr. Canis has to say for himself. Canis? Oh, darling, are you sure? Do be careful around him, won't you? He is well connected to the outside, and he is in here. I suppose he would have to be. However, how else would the so-called fixers stay in business? The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for a long time. Even I've had to lend him a hand, and myself, you know. That's what this was all about. He's still not talking, ma'am. What was the evidence you borrowed from the precinct? Borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Yes, sweetie. Well, yes, my sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heavens knows how many times I've hauled the sensitive scoundrel to my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say, or how much evidence I present with him, he simply won't say a word. A prison warden conducting interrogations herself. That's irregular, to say the least. Let your guard down, and he'll devour you whole. Be careful, darling. You have been warned. Howee. Here I thought I couldn't get any spicier. Oh joy, she's here. They're here. Judge Gavel, I didn't expect to find you here. We've been conducting inquiries, which, given that we are in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange is that you are still here, Mr. Edwards. I gave you a warning, did I not? I told you that your badge was at risk should our paths cross again, and yet here you are. I'm sorry that you thought that I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honor. But I am not about to let the truth slip away from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. I'm here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourself should have uncovered. You have more business with me. I take it, Mr. Edgeworth. I do promise I would be back to prove that you were the killer, and here I am. This should be amusing. Very well. Whenever you are ready.
Objection!
I still can't with that voice. Not so fast. We have some truths of our own to share. First-rate deductions, in fact. Indeed. We are now more certain than ever that Simon Saint was the murderer. That only he could have moved Mr. Knight's from his holding cell to the prison proper. And we shall prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt. But first, a question. Are you quite determined to continue on this course, Mr. Edgeworth? Should you fail to rebut our deductions, there will be no going back. Your very career hangs in the balance. What? You mean take his badge if you don't like how this goes? That's intimidation. Not at all. If anything, I am showing him mercy. This is not Mr. Edgeworth's case. It never was. And I am under no obligation to hear him out. If he is prepared to accept the potential ramifications of his actions, I will allow him one last chance. Well, are you truly willing to take the risk? To put your beloved badge on the line? Mr. Edgeworth. Sir. I accept your terms. I am confident in my reasoning, and what's more, I am representing the firm of Edgeworth & Co., and I do not intend to dispute its name. My duty will be done, and I will not be intimidated. Very well. Let us see whether you are brave, or simply reckless. By the power vested in me by the almighty goddess of justice, let this judgment commence. Eustace, if you will allow me. Fine by me. Here is all yours, Gavel. Time to teach this stupid justice woman a lesson. You are aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume? He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Stain stopped by Mr. Cell for a little visit. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled onto one of the prison workshops. It figures you was going to bring up Mr. Saint going to the Knight's cell. Yesterday, after you so kindly made us aware of the security footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. Perhaps you would like to see what we found. This is a still from the footage we received. This was the night before. Yeah, because the footage we have was taken on the 27th at 6 a.m. So this was long before that. So yeah, no, we can object to that instantly with this other footage. We can object to that immediately. Mr. Saint speaking with Mr. Knight at his cell. Correct. You also note that he has positioned the cage in a way to obscure the camera's view. Not really. It is in the blind spot that Mr. Knight exploited in order to enter the cage undetected. A sound deduction based on what can be observed, wouldn't you say? It's convenient that you only brought a still. How about we look at when Mr. Saint walked away with the cage? Is Mr. Knight still in his cell? Can we still see that? blind spot, which means that the camera wouldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage, if he did at all. So it's still possible that he didn't actually leave his cell up. I don't get it. Why would Mr. Knight want to hide in a cage? There really is only one possibility. He intended to escape. A prison break? That's so cool! Mr. Krauser, Mr. Knight, everybody's doing it. I have to step up my game. Okay, now is not the time. Mr. Carcerado's escape is no laughing matter. It is my belief that Mr. St. Help Mr. Knight was his escape attempt. That is to say, he was his accomplice. Wow, go Simon. Kate, shut up. I understand the cage was briefly taken by one of the workshops. I imagine that if things had gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show, and then removed from the premises along with the rest of the circus's equipment. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, Mr. Saint had other ideas. He killed his friend in cold blood. Judge Cavill's argument seems reasonable. But there must be a fault in her logic somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
Hold it!
I take it you believe Mr. Saint had intention to bring Knight out with the cage. I do. And we know that he brought the cage with him on his visit to Knight's cell. Because in addition to evidence, he himself had testified to having done so. So his trip to Knight's cell with the cage is really what made him the lead suspect. Yeah, but Simon, he's just absent-minded. Probably forgot he even had the cage with him. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cell out of absent-mindedness. Mr. Saint dragged an enormous cage all the way to the holding cell in order to help someone escape. Which of these interpretations sounds more logical to you? Indeed. As it is the fact that Mr. Saint took a little detour to Mr. Knight's cell with a large animal cage.
Hold it!
Do you have any proof Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regained consciousness, I'm sure he will confirm our suspicions. I wouldn't be so sure. Sorry, but I believe there is a flaw in your reasoning. Knight had the keys. There was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint when there was no need, surely? He chose the option he deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, then waited for the opportune moment to present itself. He hid the keys. I'm afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor. But Knight wasn't hiding any keys. That has been proven already.
Take that!
Since you know about the incident, I assume you must already know about this, but... After the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell and no keys were found. And if the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I've considered the matter of the missing keys, and I do not think it's such an issue. Girl, it's a major issue. How would he have gotten out of the cage? There's a cell if he didn't have any keys. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated that they were unable to locate. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chest set. Knight's chest set. The same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Was it? I can't help but wonder about that. But you're the one who proposed it. Actually, if you recall, that was Eustace's assertion. So the two of them aren't one-minded on this, I take it. Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guard inside the chest set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open the cell and climbed inside the cage. And then he was moved from his holding cell to that workshop in the prison proper. All with the help of his friend and accomplice. Had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken to the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard.
Objection!
Mr. Saint was a part of that performance. He wouldn't have even had time to commit the murder.
Overruled.
How indeed? Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday, the show was one such example. She's done her homework, I see. Suspect played the role of antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails, and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine. He's sent flying by the elephant. Isn't that dangerous? Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. And you're saying that the crime took place during that time? No, actually, we have, so we had a thing from Frank saying, like, right around the end. After all, it is more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
No. Committing the crime and returning to the stage in a short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. I seem to remember telling you that I would not accept that part of the security footage into the evidence.
Objection!
And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind. Very well. Would you be so good as to present it? What proof do you have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell?
Take that!
This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty Goddess of Justice, grant me patience. That floor you so dismissive of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensic operatives.
Objection!
I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one. That detective, how very unfortunate for him. Perhaps before you decide to circumvent the law, you might have considered. that the committee's influence extends to the police. Girl, he was investigating the crime scene. And technically, it's just, oh, hey, defense, here's evidence. Oh, no, Gummy's badge is on the line, too. Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well. She's really stretching her authority. I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into the evidence. However... Objection! You bad luck, idiots. You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless. Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted. I just butted in to tell you, your entire argument's one big inconsistency. You showed us the camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood before it left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can do it, huh? A blood-wiping dog? You're a joke. You'd have wiped up that blood, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmut, you would have. What? That was one of the tricks I taught him while our work together was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence, after all. Saved by an assassin of all people. Jeez Louise, you could have taught that little guy to shake hands. Oh, he does that marvelously too. Although, the way I taught him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First, he bites down hard on the victim's hand. Then... La 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 la, I'm not listening. I see. Very well then, Mr. Edwards. It seems you may have gathered some evidence worth considering. Objection! Your understanding is much appreciated. Wait, I'm not done yet. I just thought of something else. Overruled. Oh boy, someone's taking no prisoners. Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me? All yours, Gavel. Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell. The assassin dog was the killer. Overruled. My position is the same as it was yesterday. To explain how the dog moved to the prison and the detention center, I cannot accept your theory into evidence. I thought you might say that, which is why I'd allow you to show me something. This piece of evidence shows that the dog could freely travel between the prison and the detention center.
Take that!
This is a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison. What? A secret passageway? It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Casarado. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held. Well, this is certainly a surprise. To think it was beneath our feet the entire time. Mr. Canis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder.
Overruled.
Woman, take a chill pill. Why do you stop saying overruled every 2 seconds? In the name of Goddess of Justice. Overruled. Mr. Edwards, you are out of line.
Hold it!
How so, Your Honor?
Overruled.
Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or at the scene of a crime. Isn't that your little catchphrase? Well, it just so happens that I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report. It's not going to be a dog bite. It, like, we already kind of figured that it was a stab wound. Like, we didn't really note any dog bite marks. Where did you get that? How do you know? How did you not know she had this? Please hand it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it has something of value to tell us nonetheless. The Goddess of Justice speaks us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat, and the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. But its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It is a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue your flight of fancy? Or will you now claim that the dog used a knife instead? Impossible. That will be all. This court is adjourned.
Objection!
But the tunnel has the paw prints. What of them? Much is something of a wanderer. Perhaps he just happened to come across this tunnel one day. Although I couldn't say for certain. I myself cannot wander so quiet so free. Sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish you kicked the teeth a little earlier with that. She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with the autopsy report. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You're the lead attorney for the defense, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim report in question. I do apologize for the delay. Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for looking us up. Yep, all this checks out. Yep. Mr. Fender, a handshake is not necessary when receiving official court documents, you know. So please feel free to let go of my hand. It's not a holy relic after all. Dude. Fender is trying to be friendly, Your Honor. You had lingered a moment longer, the Goddess of Justice would have spoken through my gavel. You would have received a whack on the head. Alright, I got it. Nice work, Lethal. Just like we planned. I did only as you instructed, Eustace. But thank you. This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But a dog didn't kill Knight, and it takes Connus out of the running. The Goddess of Justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells me that you might keep your badge if you will finally abandon this fruitless quest. What's our move, sir? She really means it this time. What do you think, detective? My answer remains the same, Glitchcabell. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated. Even with how things stand, you refuse to concede. This may very well be on your last chance. Your badge hangs by a thread. Then let it fall it must. I have something far more important to protect as an associate attorney. My client. The Goddess of Justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy. Attaboy, Miles. That's what I like to see. Looks like the defense never rests is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He's the one who said it first. Probably not the very first Fender, but we'll let it slide. my father. In fact, I could have swear I saw Gregory spearing you for a second there. He said you've changed since your days in the Von Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to. Thank you, Fender. Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. But you think cap's on. It's make it or break it time. If it's true Knight was often by with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart? A bladed weapon, of course. There were 5 chisels in Connis's cell when we last looked. Former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit a murder with a tool like that. In which case, the weapon that killed Knight was.
Hold it!
Have you quite evidence is everything. It may well be a little catchphrase, but it's also true. So the murder weapon was a sharp blade. Then where is it? The guards didn't find it. Why can't you let this go? So what if they didn't find it? What are you driving at? What if I were to tell you that I now know what the real murder weapon was? It was right under our noses the whole time. Indeed. It was one of Mr. Connis's chisels. What?
Overruled.
I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible half-baked theories, Mr. Edwards. You've repeatedly that Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog. I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and the scene of the crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then the murderer could not have been a dog. That begs the question of what exactly it was we saw in the security footage. Oh yeah, that security footage. How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants? Excellent question. The footage shows the dog jumping on someone. Just Mr. Connis's dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight, but it didn't kill him. He didn't? No. Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag a corpse through the tunnel. He dragged an alive, unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master. Oh, I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Connis could finish the job. And he could definitely use his chisels to do it. Correct. You body hit him in Connis. You're the only one who could have done it.
Objection!
Mr. Edwards, you'll ever get this on your report card. Refuses to listen, must learn to respect others. Are you asking me or confessing on what's on yours? We already searched Mr. Connis himself from top to bottom, right, Gavel? Yes, we inspected his chisels. All 4 of them. 4? There wasn't a single speck of blood.
Hold it!
Why, thank you, Your Honor. You've just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean? Last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4. Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5. And, the one that's missing is the small one. The one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Connis, where did you hide the chisel? A pocket chisel? And what use might I have for such a thing, I'm rarely allowed to leave my cell. In which case, you shouldn't have had a chance to dispose of the weapon. You dug your own grave, Mr. Connis. You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. For a man who can't leave his own cell, can't leave his cell on his own volition, Connis would only have hidden chisel here, obviously here in Maximum Security. Mr. Connors is still a prisoner, despite the comfort he enjoys. He is rarely allowed outside his cell. He couldn't have been given a chisel to his dog to leave. He could have given a chisel to his dog to leave somewhere. But that would have been far from ideal. He would have no way to guarantee where it might end up. Intriguing. Do go on, Mr. Edgeworth. Furthermore, this room is one place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting? A fact that he took full advantage of. Ah, the old keep incriminating evidence close routine. Classic.
Objection!
But I looked, I searched the whole cell myself, and there's just nowhere he could have hidden it.
Objection!
I'm certain the murder weapon is here. And the reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in an ingenious manner. It's in the it's in that mega piece. I didn't actually read what he said there. Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan? Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot he could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What are you missing? He's not showing us up. It's on the dog? The dog hasn't made a sound today. Is it in the dog's mouth? When we were here before, he barked and clawed repeatedly. Connors even encouraged him to do so. This must be it. I knew something was off. I hardly believe it, but I think I know where he hid the murder weapon. Give up already. Expecting more from you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Hold it!
As well you should, if you would give me a moment. Where this piece of evidence shows where you hid a murder weapon.
Take that!
Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today. Oh yeah. Mr. Connors, if you were so kind as to open Helmut's mouth. Come on now, he hasn't barked because he's a well-behaved boy. I had ordered him to the last time. Then order him again this instant. It's not like we're asking for the world, Mr. Connors. Or do you have something to hide? Busted, busted, gotta be busted. If you insist, come on, Helmut, open up. And there we have it. A chisel that's small and was eaten. What? A chisel? In a dog? Why is there a chisel in a dog? Thought he'd been strangely quiet. I guess his brain has finally caught up. Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call forensics? Tell them it's urgent. Okay, yeah.